The doctor named foods that harm liver health. Lifestyle and diet affect liver health. What habits negatively affect liver function? What foods are best to avoid if you have liver disease? What can you do to keep your liver healthy? What habits are there that may seem beneficial at first glance, but can have a bad effect on the liver? Many fad diets are not good for the liver. For example, on a ketogenic diet, excess fat can cause fatty liver disease and inflammation of liver cells. If you engage in prolonged fasting, damage to liver cells and the development of cytolysis syndrome are also possible. For example, butter, which has been in our diet since childhood. It is rich in vitamins A and D, but if there are problems with the liver, it is better to limit its use or eliminate it altogether. Also, goose and duck meat, rich in fat, is considered healthy, and this is true, but not for everyone. Healthy foods that are not good for the liver include cilantro, sorrel, wild garlic, kiwi, cranberries, and any other acidic foods. Is it true that eating fructose is bad for the liver? Does this mean that a love of fruit is not always good for this organ? Excessive amounts of fructose in the diet can have negative effects on the liver. Fructose gives less of a feeling of satiety than glucose, so its consumption is often accompanied by overeating and, as a result, weight gain. Fructose also contributes to an increase in the amount of fat in liver cells and the progression of fatty liver disease. To a greater extent, carbonated drinks with fructose and fructose-based sweeteners have such a negative effect. In natural fruits, this effect is less pronounced. You should try to consume sweet fruits in small quantities, and if you have already developed liver diseases, I recommend avoiding the consumption of such fruits, as well as honey. Why does salt damage liver cells? Salt in large quantities disrupts the digestion process and absorption of fats, thereby increasing the load on the liver. In addition, due to this, bacterial growth in the intestines increases and the enterohepatic circulation of bile acids is disrupted. All this can cause thickening of bile, giving rise to the formation of stones in the gallbladder. What foods are bad for the liver? It is advisable to limit foods with a large amount of animal fats, exclude smoked foods, strong alcohol, foods with a lot of salt, vinegar, food coloring, and preservatives. The best way to support liver health is diet. What should you do to keep your liver healthy? Once a week, it is useful to spend fast days, vegetables, dairy products, apples. It is necessary to limit the consumption of foods rich in cholesterol, butter, margarine, eggs, sausage. For a healthy liver, in addition to a balanced diet, it is very important to avoid alcohol and smoking, and take medications only as prescribed by a doctor. Daily physical activity, sufficient time for sleep and rest will be useful. Alcohol. The biggest damage to the liver is, of course, alcohol. Many people know this. Alcoholic drinks force the liver to work twice as hard. And if alcohol is combined with carbonated drinks, the load increases even more. Because of ethyl alcohol, hepatocytes, liver parenchyma cells, which make up 60% to 80% of the organ's mass, die, redox processes are disrupted, and a toxic breakdown product of alcohol accumulates. As a result, inflammation develops and the replacement of liver cells with connective tissue begins, and the organ itself increases in size. Excessive alcohol consumption causes cirrhosis of the liver. Salt. According to a study by Chinese scientists, excessive salt consumption has a detrimental effect on the liver. Excess of this product increases cell death and increases the risk of fibrosis. According to the standards of the World Health Organization, WHO, you can consume no more than 5 grams of table salt per day. But, as a rule, it is found in the human diet more often than it might seem. After all, people get most of their salt from ready-made and processed foods. For example, it is hidden in sausages, smoked meats, cheeses, canned food, chips, and many other products. Sugar. Sugar is also bad for liver health. After all, it is found in almost every product. Sugar is included in sauces, processed foods, dairy products, bread, store-bought juices, instant breakfasts, not to mention desserts, baked goods, cookies, cakes. Carbonated drinks are especially harmful. The combination of gases, sugar, and dyes is a triple blow to the liver. Excessive sugar consumption increases the load on the liver, thereby interfering with its functioning. The more sweets you eat, the more insulin your body produces. When it is in excess, it is stored in fat. Liver cells simply do not always have enough space for glucose, which is why it is converted into fat. This is considered one of the risk factors for fatty liver disease. Fatty foods. Harm to the liver, gallbladder, and bile ducts is also caused by foods high in fat, which strain the liver and stomach. Therefore, it is worth monitoring the amount of animal and vegetable fats you consume. These include lard, sausages, butter, duck and pork, as well as fatty broths, semi-finished products, cakes, pastries, flour products, etc. This is especially detrimental when fatty foods are fried. It is most beneficial to boil or bake food. It is not recommended to eat a lot of chips and French fries, as when fried they release very dangerous toxins. Canned food. Canned foods have a detrimental effect on the liver, as they contain a large amount of harmful substances, oil, vinegar, and the same salt. According to data, 1.5 to 2% or more table salt is added to most canned foods. It turns out that 1 can of canned fish, meat, or vegetables covers the daily need for sodium. That is why they are not recommended for use by people with gastrointestinal problems, cardiovascular diseases, and diseases of the genitourinary system. Excessive consumption of canned fruits, pineapple, apricots, strawberries, is also harmful. They contain large amounts of sugar and sugar syrup, which damages the liver and figure. To maintain liver health, it is important to eat a healthy and balanced diet. Add more vegetables, fruits, cereals to your diet, reduce or completely eliminate sweets and alcohol. You should eat at least 3 times a day, but it is best to eat in small portions. When eating, chew your food thoroughly and do not overeat. Don't forget about your drinking balance. To maintain stable liver function, a healthy person without gastrointestinal problems only needs to give up large doses of alcohol and avoid products containing food additives, most often dyes, preservatives, flavor enhancers, trans fats, and carcinogens. With the exception of alcohol, all of the above are found in abundance in sugary carbonated drinks, fast food, snacks, chips, and store-bought sauces. An alternative is natural food that is not industrially processed. In addition, it is important that the weekly, and especially daily, menu does not include fried and fatty foods. This does not mean that in the struggle for a healthy liver you need to give up all tasty dishes and completely exclude animal fats and carbohydrates from your diet. You can eat everything, but in moderation, and when choosing foods you should follow simple rules.